All right, so this is the video to show you how to do the final copy formatting for the annotated bibliography. So the first thing that I want to do is I want to come into my Google account. And then make sure that you're logged into your Google account using your Columbus State email address. And then it should pull up your drive for you. So I'm going to go into my draft copy first. So I'm going to open that up. So here's my draft. So I'm going to go ahead and open that up. Now, a lot of you probably, and I did suggest this to people, probably did their revisions and stuff on this draft copy. But remember, you have to submit a brand new document to me for the final copy. So the first thing that I want to do is I want to go ahead and I want to copy everything over. So I'm going to copy everything. So this might be all of your revisions, whatever you did on the draft copy. So I want to take this I'm going to copy that. And then I want to go back to my Writing Project 3 final copy folder. So I'm going to open that up, and yours should be blank. So I've got to start a new document here. So the first thing that I want to do is I want to go ahead and paste that. All right, so here's my stuff that's been pasted. Okay, so I want to come up here and I want to name it. So you want to name it your first name. Perfect. And then it doesn't copy the header, so I've got to add that in. So go down to page numbers. This one right here. And I want to highlight that and make sure that I'm in Times New Roman, size 12. All right, so here's my draft. So now, let's say, what was this? My first two entries here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and let's just say that this is what I added in for my entry. Okay, so there's my summary paragraph for the third entry, and then this will be my evaluation paragraph for the third entry. Okay, here's my fourth entry. Okay, then my evaluation paragraph for the fourth entry. Okay, and so I'm going to make those very long. So your paragraphs will obviously be much longer than that. Okay, so here's my draft. So everything here is single spaced. So what I've got to do is I've got to make everything double spaced. And now this can create problems because it will add in spaces that are not needed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight the whole thing. And then I'm going to go up here to the line spacing and I'm going to hit double space. Okay, and now we notice, so we're going to have to check and see what it actually did. And then, oh, by the way, I need to come up here and make sure I change my date. So my due date for the final copy is December the 4th. So don't forget to do that. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so this is right here. Okay, see, notice here, this is a big gap between this A and the B. So I've got to fix that. So you've got to, what you have to do is you have to select both lines like this, and then come up to this, where is it? Our line spacing, and then add space, or actually, let me see. I think I could delete the space with my cursor. Okay, so it looks like that's all I need to do is delete the space. So then now, so this is my works cited citation here. And now I've got, so this between the B and the C is my, between my citation and the summary paragraph. So same thing, I've got to use my cursor and remove the extra space. So same thing between the summary and evaluation, remove the space. Down here, okay, this is my second works cited citation. So all these places where you see a big space, you've got to manually with your cursor place it and then backspace it back. And yes, it does take time to do this. So, I mean, but that's just part of the formatting stuff. So now when I look at my document, I see there are no big gaps anywhere. But yes, everything is double spaced. My intro is double spaced. My works cited citation is now double spaced. Then I have a double spaced summary paragraph and evaluation paragraph. So I'm scrolling down and I don't see any big gaps anywhere between any of the paragraphs. All right. Okay, so let's look at an example of this. So here's a student's final copy of their annotated bibliography. Okay, so I see the last name and page number is up here in the upper right. That's correct. The student's name, my name, English 1100, comma, space, writing project 3, and then the due date of the final copy. So yours should be 4 December 2019. I see the title here. And then notice there is no big gap between the title and the first line. That's a single space there. Okay, so if I'm scrolling down, this is the introduction paragraph. All right, and then I see the first works cited citation. Remember, these have to be in alphabetical order. So notice here, if I select this, I can see the hanging indent up here. And then the summary paragraph is also has a hanging indent. And then the evaluation paragraph also has a hanging indent. And then I come down here to the second entry in the annotated bibliography. So I can select this and I can see there's a hanging indent there. Again, I do not see any big gaps between anything. So yes, the entry, the summary, if I put my cursor here, I see that has a hanging indent. Evaluation paragraph, hanging indent. Okay, scroll down. Okay, here's the third entry, same thing. That has a hanging indent. Summary paragraph has a hanging indent. Evaluation paragraph has a hanging indent. I think this one needs to come up. No, it's fine. Okay, last entry right here. Hanging indent. Hanging indent. And actually, that's off a little bit. That should be at 0.5. All right. So everything looks good. Again, the evaluation and summary paragraphs. Notice where they're indented here. So we've got this shows our hanging indent here, and then we tabbed over. So the summary and evaluation paragraphs should line up with this hanging indent right here. But notice everything is double spaced, but there are no big gaps anywhere. So if I scroll back up to the very top after my introduction paragraph, here's my first entry. And I see after the works citation, single space, summary paragraph. Between the end of the summary and the beginning of the evaluation, a single space, no big gap. And then at the end of the evaluation paragraph, between the end of the evaluation paragraph and the beginning of the summary paragraph, here, no big gap right here. So again, you do have to manually go through and take out those extra spaces. So that is something that I will take points off for. If you have big gaps in places, that means your formatting is not correct. Let's see what else. Okay, alphabetical order. I believe I looked at everybody's, but some people who change their sources and whatnot, again, your entries have to be in alphabetical order. So if I go up to the beginning of this one, the first entry is, A for Aaron, B for Brant. The documentaries get alphabetized by title. So the Killing Us Softly one comes under K. Notice that the whole title is italicized. And then the last one, I believe, is a research study that she found on her own. So this was one with 2 authors. So that's an N. So that would come at the end. So this looks good. I don't see any issues here with the formatting. Everything does look correct. Again, there are no big gaps or spaces anywhere. And yes, the entries are formatted correctly. There's a works citation and then a summary paragraph and an evaluation paragraph for each source. So let's see on Blackboard. Where is it? Let's look at the document. So if you're working on your final copy of your annotated bibliography, again, you definitely want to be using the outline. And I did meet with everyone and I talked about that. Like some people, they're not using the outline enough. Like you've got to use the outline to help you with the paper. And then for this paper, especially the supplemental materials are really important. So this gives you an example of a completed entry, and you are expected to have 4 of these entries. And then here I give you examples of all the work size citations. You have to, again, use these templates, these examples to help you with your sources. So the information you need for the work size citations are on your sources, but you have to use these examples and combine the examples with the information from the secondary source to do the proper work size citations. So if I met with you in workshop, I edited those for you. But if you've added things in or changed things, you've got to make sure you're looking at this document here to help you with the works cited citations. And then the other documents that are crucial, the summary documents. If you're summarizing an academic book chapter, a journal article, or a documentary, this model helps you right here. If you're summarizing a research study, this document will help you. For all evaluation paragraphs, this model will help you. And then when you're working on your quotes and stuff, these documents right here help you with the quotes. So these are examples of in-text citations for the different secondary sources. And really, they're either your in-text citations should either be a page number, because all of these sources are written, or it's a quote from a documentary. And what documentary quotes in parentheses, it's the full title of the documentary, italicized, followed by the timestamp of when the quote was said in the documentary. So really, you're only working with two different types of in-text citations here, either a page number or title of documentary and timestamp for that, if you're doing a quote from a documentary. But again, make sure you're using the documents to help you as much as you can. And then, yes, I mean, if your formatting looked pretty good, and I did try to look at those on people's drafts and correct anything. But again, when you go through your formatting on your final copy, you've got to make sure to double space everything on the Google Doc, but then it's going to add an extra space. So you've got to go in and remove those in all the appropriate places. And I think that's it for the final copy formatting. Make sure you share that with me on Google. Remember, you got to share a brand new copy with me. It cannot be your draft document that you revised. You got to share a brand new copy with me on here. And then let's see. Okay. And then I'm just going to scroll through this again so that you can see what the final copy should look like as far as the spacing goes. So again, there's my title. Here's my introduction. First, works cited citation with a hanging indent. Summary paragraph is indented and has a hanging indent. It also has an evaluation paragraph that is indented and has a hanging indent. And then the same for the rest of the sources. Second source, summary, evaluation. Third source, hanging indent, summary, evaluation. Fourth, secondary source. There's my works cited citation, summary, evaluation. So hopefully that is helpful to everybody, and good luck with it.